Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, broadcasting on the DisneySea to all points unknown. If you're within the sound of my voice, you're listening to Welcome Home Podcast on the DisneySea.
Hello and welcome home. This episode of Welcome Home is brought to you by DVC Rental Store. Thank you for joining us on episode 319 of Welcome Home, a Disney Parks and Vacation Club podcast. I'm Tom, here with Trevor. How's it going, Trevor?
Hey, doing all right, Tom. How are you?
Been a weird week, man.
It's been a week, yes.
Yeah, so off the top, all right, like just to get started here. So I wanted to mention we didn't have a show last week, and this was actually my fault. I forgot to mention on the previous episode, so I guess 2 weeks ago now, that I was going to be away for the weekend. In fact, I forgot to tell you even.
Until like midway through the week, which was fine.
Yeah. But we didn't announce it to the podcast listeners that we weren't going to have a regular episode coming out that week. So, but Trevor did do the excellent wait list with Chris, which was great. Unfortunately, we didn't get out in time for Monday, but we did have an episode last week, so it did happen. We just didn't have our regularly scheduled episode. Go ahead, Trevor. What were you going to say?
No, I was just going to say I don't know or I don't feel it was a good episode,
What?
It was a great episode from Chris's standpoint. I really loved everything Chris brought to it. I didn't feel like I did a great job, but that's because that was actually the first time I've solo hosted an episode.
Yeah, I mean, you did great. Yeah. You did great. I don't like tooting my own horn ever, but for some reason, when I was putting that episode together, I just had this weird moment of inspiration of a new logo for Waitlist, and I made it, and I literally did it in 15 minutes, and I'm obsessed with it now. It's like awesome. My favorite thing that I've done in forever. I'm like, I'm going to just do Waitlist just so I could use it.
No, I think that's the tip of the iceberg for, I think we need to look at that stuff a little bit more than we have been.
Yeah. I like having fun with the logos. So, but let's go,
let's talk about the elephant in the room. Yeah.
Let's talk about, or the elephant not in the room, I guess. So listen, and a lot of you may know this already, because if you do follow us on Facebook, or you're in our group, or you're in our Discord, this has been filtering around for the past week, because it's been about a week now. But suffice to say, Trevor and I have decided to part ways with Damon. Yeah. There are a lot of reasons for this that we're really not going to get into on the show. We don't really want to go down to this is exactly why things happen the way they did. If you want any of that, we did talk it through in our Facebook group. You can go check out, Disney Waitlist. What is it? Sorry.
Welcome Home Disney Waitlist.
Welcome Home Disney Waitlist. Sorry.
We'll hit it again at the end of the show.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah. So you can, listen, we talked a little bit more about what happened and why it happened the way it did. So we don't really want to relitigate that. Suffice to say, I think anybody that's listened to the show for the past couple of years probably has a good understanding of why this occurred. I don't think that it was much of a secret of how things were going here. And honestly, we don't have any ill will towards Damon. We, hope that Damon moves, starts doing something that he wants to do, and starts enjoying, doing something like this. He's at a different point in his life. Right. And he maybe wants to talk about different things, and that's great. But, it's a little bit different than what we're trying to do on this show. And I think people have seen that, and I know there's a lot out there about it, but we don't really want to get too deep into it. Like I said, it's out there. Go ahead, Trevor.
Yeah, I mean, exactly that. Everyone is entitled to feel how they want to feel about it. We're not here to tell you, how you should or shouldn't feel about it. It's just, it was the decision that we made, and that's as far as it needs to go. Well,
and listen, we know full well that there are some of you listening to this will be like, well, I only listened for Damon. I only like to listen to the show for Damon. That's okay. We're not we don't take offense to that. We understand, you should make choices to listen to the things you want to listen to. And if you don't want to listen to Trevor and I do the show, that's okay. We're fine with that. And we really appreciate it. We appreciate every single person that has ever listened to the show, whether you hate Trevor and I and only love Damon, or, you hated Damon and only love Trevor and I, whatever it is. Not that we're grouped together, Trevor. They could hate us individually, I guess.
Yes.
But, or like us individually. Let's hope it's
I mean, I assume, everyone has their favorite hosts on various shows and stuff.
Yeah, sure.
that is totally fine. And like you said, it's not, the fact that we're doing the show is just, it's supposed to be a place of fun. And, we want to keep this, something that we all enjoy. So, that's, I think, as long as we're still having fun with it, that is the biggest thing at the end of the day.
I've said this, and Trevor, you've said this from the very beginning of doing this, right? We've been doing this a long time now, really long time. I started this as a hobby. Okay. I started as something fun. I wanted to talk about Disney. I wanted to embrace a lot of the skills that I had over the years from, working on television, working on, audio in various forms. And I also want to talk about Disney, and I also wanted my wife to stop being annoyed at me for constantly talking to her about Disney stuff. And so I decided to start a podcast, and Trevor came along and Damon came along, and we did the podcast for a long time. But we've always said that, and I've always said that the minute that this stops becoming fun for us, then the show's over, because it's not supposed to be a business. It's not supposed to be about listener counts or, anything like that. This is to have fun. This is to, I love hanging out with Trevor and doing this. I always have. I mean, I enjoyed doing it with Damon a lot too. I'm not going to say I didn't. But it's when it becomes not fun for us anymore, then there's no more show, and that's, and I don't, listener counts, over the years have changed. They fluctuate. Sometimes we're up, sometimes we're down. Doesn't really matter to us. Right.
And that's exactly it is, the listeners, I feel, come from, if we're enjoying it, I feel like people will enjoy it.
Exactly.
And again, if people, I guess I'll relate it to my own thing is that, I have various, there's been YouTube channels that I would watch for like years, and then I would just be like, I've gotten enough with that, and I move on.
Dude, I used to listen to Stuff You Should Know every week. And then I haven't listened to it in years. Yeah. And that's okay. Like, listen, your life changes. Everyone, like, it's not, and I don't want anyone to take this as me saying we don't appreciate you. We appreciate all of you insanely. Like, it blows us away that anyone listens to this, let alone the numbers of people that listen to this. So, like, that, please don't think you're not appreciated. We really do. And even if you leave us because you don't want to hear Trevor and I do this anymore, we still appreciate you. You guys are amazing, honestly.
We saw a lot of that in the group and the whatnot, like the group and the Discord and everything, when we said that that we made this decision. And I was honestly surprised at the
support.
The support, all of you have just, we're glad that you enjoy it is the thing. And, unfortunately, yes, this particular situation is not, it wasn't great for everybody, but, that's part of it as well, as, it's not always going to work for everybody.
So. Yeah. And listen, this was not an easy thing for Trevor and I to determine. It wasn't. It wasn't an easy thing for, to do. It wasn't, not everything kind of went the way we had hoped it was going to go. And that's how these things happen sometimes. I think when you work with anybody for a long time, there are certain things that happen behind the scenes or even in front of people that, it can build up and over time. And that's just what happens. And, it is what it is. Honestly, I know it doesn't seem like it, but it's been very difficult for Trevor and I on this. This has been a very difficult thing for us to do. So, but listen, we don't want to dwell on it. We don't want to have a negative thing to start the show and have it bleed into the entire show, especially since we've been gone for 2 weeks and an insane amount of things happened. And before we even get into the insane amount of announcements that have happened, I got 2 things I want to talk about before that, Trevor.
All right. So let's get into your stuff because we have a long rundown today.
Yeah, I know we do, because all the D23 stuff is happening and all that. So listen, we're going to have fun on this show. Don't take it as like, oh, we're so happy that Damon's gone. It's not that. We still want to enjoy this show. We still want to have fun with it. And so we are going to have fun with it, even if that was a rough chapter for us. So the reason I was gone last weekend, Trevor, is I took a trip to the Philadelphia Zoo. Now, a lot of our listeners, I think, live in the Northeast area. The Philadelphia Zoo is I don't know if it's the oldest zoo in the United States or the oldest zoo ever.
Sure.
It's one of the oldest zoos in the world, right? It's a very old zoo. but it's very charming. It's a very cool zoo, very small zoo, right? You know, it's only like 42 acres or something like that. Pretty small. I think probably the entire Kilimanjaro safari ride is bigger than that, right?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Anyway, so we got to do like behind the scenes. We did the reason why we're doing it is for my sister's birthday, and she wanted to do behind the scenes things with animals. So I got to meet a rhino. I got to pet the rhino, brush the rhino. It was pretty cool. You know, I've seen rhino. We did it behind the scenes at Disney one time with rhinos too, but I didn't get to like, you know, give the rhino a belly rub. Like that was pretty cool. You know?
You gave a rhino a belly rub?
Well, you know, belly, like side, you know, like towards the.
But I assume it was like close to the fence or whatever.
Well, we were actually in the exhibit with the rhino.
Oh.
Yeah, but they were bars. They were okay. So they were metal, like those, you know, those concrete pylons they use like a lot for like to prevent cars from going places. They had those in between us and the rhino. So yeah. But I mean, here we are in the exhibit. Like, so like people that are just checking out the rhino, they see us doing this, you know what I mean? Which is cool. I mean, don't get me wrong. It was awesome. They also, I didn't get to do this one. My wife did this one, my daughter. They also did hippos as well, behind the scenes with hippos. That one was more just feeding hippos, like, which is cool. Don't get me wrong. You know, there was a hippo that just standing there and they threw food in his mouth, but they didn't get to like pet it or anything.
Still an interesting interaction.
And then the Philly Zoo also has these large river otters, which are apparently there's only like 10 of them in captivity total, like in the entire world. Okay. And they had these 3 of them there. And so we got to feed them, which again, behind a cage. Because I don't know, otters are adorable, but you know, they're not the nicest animals. Everyone thinks but they're not.
Otters they're deceptively cute. But yes. they are hunters.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I gave a whole fish to this otter, and it ate the entire thing in front of me within 5 seconds. Like, you know, bones and all. Like, it's not. It's yes, they are hunters. You're right. But that was cool too. I just wanted to really quickly mention that it was a very cool trip to the Philadelphia Zoo. It's a really neat zoo. They got there's a lot of really cool old architecture there because there's some buildings that like are original, like hundreds of years old that are still within the grounds. And it's
looking at their site, and they do say they are the first zoo in America.
Okay. I just don't know if they're the first zoo in the world. Probably not, but like the first zoo, I guess. But yeah. So then last night, Trevor, I did a Disney thing.
Yes.
I did a Disney.
Yeah, I wanted to hear about how this went.
Okay, yeah. So I think I talked about this on the show before, right? That I was doing this. I don't know if I did. I probably did. So my daughter absolutely loves Descendants and also Zombies, you know, Disney's Descendants and Zombies. Mm-hmm. There is a tour going, steamrolling across the country right now. It's a very short tour, by the way. Started in July, ending in September. Very quick, like really fast. And it's Zombies and Descendants, and so they have cast members from both, and they do both songs from both movie franchises. And okay, so I got a lot of notes on this. So number one, and it makes sense now that I think about it more, but the span of ages that were at this concert was shocking to me. Right? Really? My daughter's 7, right? And, you know, going towards 8, right?
It seems like the right demographic for like Descendants. Zombies. Yeah.
Ish, right? And also, I feel like it goes from like maybe like 7 to 12 is like the demographic I would think it is, right?
Yeah.
But there were 2 girls sitting next to us at one point that I'm pretty sure drove themselves there. You know, like by themselves, you know, they have driver's licenses. And which I'm fine with. Like, listen, I've said this many times. I am never gonna, you know, yuck anybody's yum. Okay, like you do what you want to do, right? I think that's the whole Disney adult argument, right? To me, it's like anyone. It's like, why does anyone care? If you're not doing it, then why do you care? Just like let other people do it. You know, like let people have their fun and do the things they want to do. So I'm not criticizing that. I was just surprised by it. But then I thought about it, and the first Descendants movie came out like 10 years ago. So these girls that were 17 were my daughter's age when it came out. So I get it now. I get it.
And I was actually going to point that out too, that, you know, my son was into Descendants back, you know, 10 years ago, because it was exactly that. You know, he was in that range of, you know, it was a Disney movie. It had, kind of like, going as far back as like High School Musical. Like there's people that are still like, likes High School Musical. I was kind of in that weird in between where like High School Musical came out after I was out of high school. So I was like,
for me. Yeah.
I was aware of it, but I wasn't like, oh, this was the greatest thing. I was like, yeah, it had some fun music and whatever. But yeah, for Descendants, I get that. I get why, you will have people that, just resonate with it. And they're like, hey, this is great. I want to see a concert of it. And, it spans many age groups now. And I guess, that's probably why they keep making them, right? Because they keep making new fans and engaging the current ones. And listen, I also saw plenty of adults rocking out to these. I will say there were a lot of costumes going on. Tons of people with costumes. Okay, I was going to say costumes as in on the stage or like people showing up.
People showing up in costumes.
Wow.
No, like
that is
really done up, man. Like a lot.
That is some fan dedication.
I do also want to shout out, and I forget what listener it was now. Let me, I got to pull this up really quick so I give credit where credit is due, because one of the listeners had gone and warned me that I needed to bring
on the Discord.
It was Ashley. Okay, so thank you to Ashley. She said, have a great time. Be prepared for screaming girls when that new guy from Zombies 4 comes on stage. And I was like, look, man, I've been going to concerts my whole life. I've been going to, sporting events. I've been in, 80,000 person filled stadiums. Like, whatever. This is not going to bother me. When I tell you, Trevor, that this was the loudest I have ever heard human beings make a sound, insane. Like, it was so loud. I could not believe it. Like, I was shocked by and sustained through the entire show, right? Like, never stopped. Every time one of those, one of those good looking guys comes on the stage, just they all lost their minds. Like,
you've seen Seeing Red, right?
Yeah. No, listen, it's that. It's that. It's Jonas Brothers level. It's that. That's where we're at with this, right? And listen, I get it. It's fine. But I was like, I honestly discounted what Ashley said, and I should not have. I, kind of wish I hated earplugs, because I was like, man, this is, because it's not just like cheering. It's like screaming, It's like screeching at a different level. So listen, I appreciate the enthusiasm, right? There was a fairly solid dad contingent there. It wasn't, there weren't a ton of dads, it was more the moms, but there were a lot of families there. I will say this, even the most grizzled, miserable looking dad that was there, that really didn't want to be there, but was there, was still, bopping along to the music, right? Because it's hard not, like, I will say this about Descendants and Zombies. It's not for me. However, those songs are catchy, man. They really are. They're really good songs, and they're very catchy. They're very well done. It's hard not to sing along, especially when because I've heard them a million times, know every single word.
And yeah, that's exactly it. Like, I was the same way with my son when he was younger, when he had certain shows that were on repeat in the house. It's like the music from those shows was like, oh, I know these songs front to back, not because they're on my playlist, but they're playing in my house all the time. So,
constantly. Yeah. So listen, I had no problem being into it. And listen, it's a Disney production. Okay. So the production quality, extraordinary, right? They did incredible effects. They had these kids all over the stage. They had a separate stage with a platform in the middle that like went up and down, like, very like Maleficent, from Fantasmic esque. There's lasers going on. There's smoke. There's, there's projection mapping they're doing on the stage. It's like a moving around show. That's pretty impressive. Because you think about like the Disney shows that you see like in the parks or on the cruises, but those are like set up in a theater that's built. Yeah, it's already got all that stuff together. Yeah. Well, and the more impressive part to me, Trevor, if you look at their schedule, they're literally doing a show like every day or every other day. Like, there's only 2 weeks left in this tour, and they've got like another 12 shows across the country. Like,
what's probably crazy is that they probably have two sets of
that's what I was
saying
to Karen. Yeah.
And they're literally like, as they're performing one, they're setting up for the next one. And then they take down and move and set up. Like, yeah, that's
exactly insane. What I was saying to my wife last night, because she hates when I get into logistics and stuff, but I find it fascinating because I'm like, there is no way. First of all, it's a 3-hour show. It's 3 hours, inclusive of a 20-minute intermission, right? So it started at 7, it ended at 10. We bailed at 9:30 because we had an hour and a half drive home. It wasn't local to us. We had to drive somewhere to go. Mm-hmm. And it was and we were losing my daughter too. She was falling fast at 9:30, right? Yeah. So we bailed out at 9:30, Trevor, and I saw the tractor trailers lining up, right? So like there was, I think, 8 tractor trailers that we counted for the stage and everything. And I said the same thing to my wife. I was like, they have to have an advanced team that goes and set this up. There's no way that they don't have 2 sets of stages, because they cannot break all this stuff down in one night, get it in a truck, drive the required distance, and have it set up the next night for the show. Zero chance that that's possible. Like, it's just not possible. There's not enough time unless they have an army of people doing it, which they might. I don't know, but
we don't know how like those sets may be designed that they can,
just break down real fast.
Yeah, like 20 minutes down, 20 minutes up kind of thing. Which,
I mean, they even have like a lot of stuff hanging from the ceiling though too. Like they had it was really well done. I mean, I'm not going to say anything bad about that because it was really, really well done. It was very impressive technically. I will say this: awful lot of lip syncing. But listen, okay. You don't go to that show for the singing. It's fine, yeah. Right? You could really so there were times they sang and times that they didn't, and you could tell, right?
Yeah.
Because I was laughing at one point because they have like the little, they have the little microphones that are on their head that just are around to their mouth so they can like talk to the crowd and everything. And then they use those for like any of the numbers where they're like dancing really hard and stuff. Those are the ones that are lip syncing. Then they'll every once in a while they're holding a stick mic, and I'm like, now they're singing. Like, because why would you need 2 mics? Like, why do you need? You already have the mic on your face still. Why do you need the extra stick mic all of a sudden? Like, okay.
But to be fair, in the shows, they're not singing live either.
It's fun.
Because those dance numbers are intense.
They're intense. They are. Yeah. Like, listen, the dancing is extraordinarily impressive. It is. Yeah. I can't say anything bad. I'm not complaining. Listen, you don't go to a show like that expecting to go for the art of the singing piece. You're going for the spectacle and the show and all that, right? Like It's not about the singing. And all of them, I'm sure, are capable singers, right?
Right.
I mean, the only other thing I will say about the show, besides the absurd amount of money that I spent on t-shirts and candy and popcorn, is that the thing that bothered me, it was 3 hours long, right? And you're thinking my daughter's age group, none of them are lasting 3 hours. Not going to happen. And listen, I appreciate the fact that it's like they're giving me more for my ticket, right? They're giving me a longer show, but there was a lot of filler going on. Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like it's very clear that they're trying to promote 2 of the female artists. They're trying to promote their solo albums because they actually broke away for like 2 different segments of them just doing singles from their albums. Right. And I was like, my daughter doesn't know these. Like, we're here to listen to Descendants and zombie songs, not
that's how
I get it.
And I'm dating myself by quoting Hannah Montana because that was a long time ago. But that was the same. Like Hannah Montana, it was focused around Miley Cyrus, and there was the Hannah Montana stuff, but then she also had her own singing that she was doing, right? So it's the same kind of thing where I'm sure it's Disney had a plan for these singers are going to be the next. And actually thinking back to it too, like even when I think it was like the first and second Descendants movies, like there was who was it? It was Sophia Carpenter, I think it was.
I don't know.
Yeah,
there's Dove
Cameron was the main character. Yeah. But it was the same kind of thing with them, is like they had their own careers outside of the show, and it was very clearly you could see where they were like putting them forward at various points, right?
I'll say this though. It was a Kylie Cantrell and Freya Sky. Those are the two girls. Mm-hmm. Neither one of them are Miley Cyrus or Olivia Rodrigo, who also came out of that kind of world too, and she's gigantic. I mean, it's hard to break out of that. It is. It's hard to go and be like, I'm going to not be the Disney kid anymore and go and do this, on my own thing. That's hard to do. And I don't know. Maybe they're good or not. I don't know. But that kind of bothered me because I was like, come on, we're not here to watch your single. We're here to watch the Descendants songs,
Yeah, but there's that whole
probably how they got them to do it, honestly.
Yeah, it's a whole competition thing. There's a lot of competitiveness between, upcoming singers and all that kind of stuff. So yeah,
it's fine. It's fine. I noticed my daughter's eyes rolling into the back of her head as those parts were happening. That's all I'm saying. And
I'm not here for this. I'm here for these songs.
That's exactly right. Like we were losing engagement quickly. So anyway, listen, overall, it was a great experience. I will say the getting into the show was horrible, but that's not Disney's fault. That's the venue's fault. Yeah. Just the parking situation, the traffic situation, the just getting in situation, like just getting through the doors was a nightmare. But outside of that, it was fun. We had a good time. My daughter really enjoyed it. She was sad that there weren't more people from the movies there. But obviously the more famous people are, these are some of the newer ones and not as famous as some of the others. Right. So
yeah,
of course.
It's that weird, like changing of the guard kind of thing that they're going through right now. Right.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. So that's enough of that. Unless you have any other questions about
No, but I'm good on Descendants.
I just want to tell anybody, if you do plan to go to this, if you were at one of the dates after the date I just went to, please heed the advice of Ashley and myself and put in some earplugs. Like the screams are insane. This is the first time, Trevor, I've ever done like a show that's more targeted towards the tween audience like this. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like it probably took me by surprise because of that, but I'm sure if I take my daughter to subsequent concerts for other things, it will be a similar experience. So.
And I remember you telling me, sorry, you all are going to get a little bit behind the scenes because Tom and I do, have conversations, is that I know you said like you've been to a lot of concerts, but the type of music that you were going to was like bands and stuff where it's a very different like vibe.
I'm not going to like a Lady Gaga show or
exactly.
or Britney different. Spears or anything like that. Yeah, I would, don't get me wrong, I would go to those. I'm sure they put on incredible shows. I would go to that. If it didn't cost $1 bajillion to do so. Like, I'm not going to go out of my way to do it, but
that's the bigger problem is it's not a cheap hobby to go to concerts all the time.
Yeah, listen, I'm going to sound like an old man, yelling at a cloud with my fist raised in the air. But when I was a kid, I could go to concerts all the time for like $20-$30. That's the way things were. Now you can't get out for under 100 if you try. So Anyway,
right. So let's actually get to the Disney.
Talk some Disney stuff, huh? Well, technically, Descendants is Disney, right? It
is. Yeah. I mean, that was still. So it was Disney, but not Disney Parks or DisneySea. Yeah. So, but it's still adjacent. The very first thing you have on here, we're going to go a little out of order this week. We're starting in Disneyland.
We are because I think technically this is DVC news. Yeah.
This is valid, I think.
Yeah, this is interesting news, and I have thoughts about this, Trevor.
All right. So, the headline is Disneyland is to discontinue early entry. So, staying at a Disney hotel, you won't get early entry anymore, but instead they're adding a free lightning lane for hotel guests.
Yeah.
So, let's start with the actual early entry part of this. So, what's your take on this, Tom?
My take on this is, and the article actually says this, that it's not that and by the way, this applies to DVC resorts too, right? So that's important.
Yes.
But according to Scott Gustin, who is just about the best theme park source that exists, right? Like said that the change is due to light guest use of the early entry perk. Early entry will remain in place till January 4th, but this is just the 30-minute early entry thing that they have. I actually think this makes a lot of sense that Disney was like, nobody's using this. So instead of continuing to do this, why don't we just split the difference and say, we'll throw you a free Lightning Lane pass as your benefit instead of early entry, because you probably were only going to get one ride in during a half hour anyway, right? So, I mean, maybe a couple.
I can make it work more.
I mean, sure. Listen, we did ride Barnstormer 9 times during early entry at Disney World, right?
Yeah,
sure,
exactly.
Fine. But that was Barnstormer. Like, if we had tried to go to like Seven Dwarfs, we're getting one ride, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I think that this is a test for this to happen at Disney World as well, because
that is fair. Yeah,
I think if this works out well, I fully expect this to happen at Disney World as well. And this is based on nothing other than just a guess. And I know that Disneyland and Disney World operate very differently. They have very different clientele. However, I think that it just feels like it would make sense to me as a perk. I think people would be attracted to that if you start saying, yeah, we'll give you one free Lightning Lane per day of your visit if you stay at a Disney on property with Disney. Yeah, I'll take that, because a lot of days then I wouldn't buy. I mean, maybe there's some parks that I only want one Lightning Lane for anyway, right? Like,
yep.
But I got to buy the whole thing for that one. Now I don't have to do that. I can just get the one free for staying at the deluxe resort. I think that would be a pretty fair, value proposition. So I don't know. I'll be interested to see, but and also interested to see what people think of this. But let me hear your thoughts, because you're the Disneyland guy, and
sure. Yeah. So the thing, okay. Yeah. The thing about Disneyland is that it is a much smaller park. It doesn't, the scale of it is not anywhere near what Disney World is.
Yeah.
The fact that, they were saying people weren't making use of this perk, so I'm thinking back to, when I was younger, we did make use of early entry. Like, anytime we went to Disneyland, when I was traveling with my parents, and when my wife and I were going, just the two of us, and even when our son was born, we were using early entry, but early entry was different back then. It gave you, it was an hour, or I think it was always an hour.
Yeah, I mean, because even at Disney World, when they had extra magic hours, they would do. I mean, sometimes it was a couple hours. Sometimes it was, it could have been a lot longer than that half hour.
Yeah. So the thing is that, thinking about it from, how it was, is that, they used to give more time, but then, looking at it from the logistical side of it means that you have to have that many more people on. Also, I will admit, every time we did early entry, we'd always get excited. We'd be like, oh, we're going over here first or whatever. And then, early entry a lot of times would be like, well, Tomorrowland is open. Like they would never open like the full park for early entry. So you were never getting like to do exactly what you wanted. Like, it was always like, oh, I can knock out a bunch of stuff, like, the obvious stuff like Space Mountain and stuff. It was, that's how we would always capitalize on early entry. But the thing about that was that in Disneyland, it was a lot easier to do because of the time zone change. That, for us, getting up that extra hour early was, we were already up early as it was anyway, because we were an hour ahead. So it seemed like an obvious thing, as long as they were giving us enough time to really make use of it. But then, like I said, it's not. It honestly wasn't as effective as we thought it was, because, we got a lot of stuff done in that morning, but then we were still leaving and, avoiding, like, we were doing it just so that we could avoid stuff later in the day. Right.
Yeah.
Really Disney doesn't like, they don't want you doing that, but because I guess, I'm playing a little bit of devil's advocate here, is the way that I'm sure Disney is looking at it is, opening the park early means, you're paying somebody to run those rides, but then, people aren't shopping, people aren't buying popcorn, people aren't like, there's a lot of things you aren't doing during early entry.
Sure.
That people could be doing if they come back later in the day. When I flip over to Disney World, early entry was always the least attractive thing about it. Because again, because of the time change.
It's different for you because of the time change, though, for sure.
Like I don't want to get up at 4:00 in the morning or my head says it's 4:00 in the morning, but it's actually, 6:00. so that I can get there an hour earlier.
For
right?
me, I'm already awake because my daughter wakes up at 6 o'clock on the dot every day, no matter what happens. So
so the fact that they looked at it and said, instead of trading it off or instead of saying, hey, you can get in a half hour early, is basically like you said, the lightning lane is if you use it. Or I shouldn't say correctly. There is no correct way to use a lightning lane. It's use it for whatever you want to use it for.
Use it for whatever you want. Yeah.
But if that saves you a half hour in line, that's the same thing, right? Like it. Yeah. But then Disney gets to keep operating normally without disrupting other things for the sake of I shouldn't say a handful of people, but a smaller amount of people that are there for early entry. Because of the fact that it was only 30 minutes, I'm not too hurt about this because it's like, at
least they didn't just take it away with no replacement.
The fact that they're offering lightning lanes is, like you said, that to me, changes the way that I'm planning my day. Where I'm not as beholden to rope drop, and I think at Disneyland, rope drop was I remember in the 90s. People sprinting to Splash Mountain at rope drop because, we didn't understand walking at that point. But, I feel like it's gotten to a point where, maybe Disney's trying to get away from they're trying to highlight, people should be there during the day, not looking for the fringe, those fringe scenarios. It sucks because it's something that I feel like, early entry did feel like a perk, but I'll admit, for the last couple of years, the perk hasn't been great. So, and maybe this will, maybe it's something too that, if people give the right feedback on it, that maybe it could potentially grow into more than one lightning lane. Well, you can say hey, give me 2 or give me 3. And, that kind of gets us back to, old fast pass days. If you're staying on property, it's like, hey, I get 3 fast passes a day. And then, outside of that, I can get multi-pass if I want to, having those 3 a day seems like pretty good value. Right.
And I guess I just look at this change as it's having the same effect just without you having to wake up early. Right. It's now you don't have to wake up early, but you still get that one ride in, or, it's not, maybe not as many as you would have gotten, but it's still, you get one ride in and you don't have to wait as long. I do wonder, I don't think Disney's ever going to do the thing that Universal does where you get it for free as part of a resort stay. That just, I don't know if it would, I think there's just too many hotels on Disney property to make that work properly.
It's hard. And even at that, I was actually looking at hotels. And so I didn't see it for Helios, but it looks like they don't offer express passes for staying at Helios for Epic Universe.
Really? Okay.
Or it's not included with the hotel stay. But again, Epic Universe is still relatively new, but to your point, just because there was a precedent for it before doesn't mean that companies are going to continue to do this stuff either.
If I had to make a bet, I would say that Universal starts moving away from that, honestly. As they build more resorts and as they get more attendance from things like Epic Universe, I think they'll have to move away from it operationally. It's going to be difficult for them to maintain that because you get to a certain point where if everybody has Express Pass, then nobody has Express Pass because then it just becomes the standby line, right? It's exactly, so that's why Disney controls it the way they do. So listen, I don't think that this is negative necessarily. I will be interested to see what if this, expands to Disney World.
I think it means, the next time I'm there, I can, set my alarm for 10 o'clock and roll in and
you wander in and
get on Haunted Mansion at 11:30 and, and then go have lunch.
That's the way to do it, man. So we also though have D23 going on, which I'm not gonna lie, it's been a crazy week, and I kind of forgot to see D23 was going on.
I totally blanked that it was this weekend as well, and then I started seeing all the news coming out.
And I was like, oh no, now I have to extend the show even more. I am super pumped for this first piece of information here. Right?
Okay, let's preface this by saying I think there's 2 things on this list that I feel are the big things, and the rest are kind of nice to have.
Yeah. So for the longest time now, I've talked about this before on the show. I love Carousel of Progress.
Yeah.
Carousel of Progress is something I've talked about. My mom went on the Carousel of Progress at the World's Fair in, I think it was 19, whatever World's Fair it was. I don't remember off the top of my head. She actually went on it at the World's Fair. And so for me, it's got a weird, like, it's not a nostalgic thing for me, but my mom, it always was. And so she would always make a point to take us on the Carousel of Progress. And I probably didn't appreciate it until I was an adult, but although my daughter likes it, but she's a little bit of a, cooler person than I am, but the idea that they're going to make some investment in update it, which has been rumored for a long time now, right? Like this has been rumored for a very long time. It actually feels like they are replacing some stuff. So, but I can't tell that completely, right? So, the first thing we're seeing here is that it looks like now Walt Disney is going to introduce the show in animatronic form, right?
Yeah. So there's like a pre-scene now, or so they're adding to the show with the pre-scene, but then the rest of the show is not going to fundamentally change. Like this is not. Or I guess the way.
Is it I don't know about that because they kind of say that there's going to be more announcements about this.
Okay, well, I'm going from a place of I'm not looking at this as the ride is going to change the same way that Splash Mountain changed to Tiana's bike adventure. Like it's still going to be Carousel of Progress.
Yes,
it's just. Yeah,
I do wonder if this Walt Disney piece is going in that very first room where right now they just have like the medallion on the wall and the curtain, and then and I don't know if there's anything behind that curtain. I don't know if it has enough space to do this. It kind of looks like it's that curtain from the concept art here, right? It looks like it's that opening curtain, and so this is what we're getting is a Walt Disney animatronic that is going to. Introduce the ride, in Walt Disney's voice, which is awesome because if you know anything about Carousel of Progress, Walt Disney designed this. Like it was his idea, right? Like literally his idea. But what they said here, Trevor, is there are still plenty of additional details to be revealed, including what John, Sarah, and the rest of the family are up to. Disney Imagineers love this attraction, and the heart of it will stay the same while introducing the Carousel of Progress to an entirely new generation of fans, showing them that a great big beautiful tomorrow is just a dream away. To me, that says they're going to update stuff. Like that's, and the last scene, I think we can all say needs an update, right?
It's the last scene is stuck in the 90s.
It's stuck in the 90s, and maybe they need to move the decades up a little bit. Like maybe the starting point needs to move up. Now, listen, I don't want anything to go because I do love the classicness of it, but at some point you're going to end up with a really big jump from the last scene to like from the last scene to the one before it.
I mean, funny enough, technically you can say it was a big jump, but like they literally do span decades.
They do
between the scenes anyway. So it's just that the decades that were picked to represent they were just arbitrarily decided on as the points that they're jumping decades. In. Yeah. So yeah, there is no rule saying that they have to keep stuff from the mid-century or whatever. Like they do have free reign to update it however they see fit. You're right though, is that I hope that they keep the original charm of it, and I hope that I hope that the future scene, it should be. And I don't know. This is always the thing I struggle with. It should be an updated, like future, like presenting like the futuristic part of it, right?
Yeah.
It should be updated, but it's also like I hope that they don't, or I hope that they don't like try to use it as another like show, like an Interventions kind of thing, right? Where here's like the current like amazing thing, but it's like, but in 5 years, that's irrelevant.
That's all, irrelevant. Right? Yeah. Like, or even 2 years, Yeah. I like that we're getting Mr. Rogers, Walt Disney here with the sweater.
Yeah. The vibe is very, reminds me of, the old like Disneyland Presents things that he did, or even when he was talking about Epcot, like that's actually what the scene is like when he was like,
which I love,
previewing Epcot, right? So
I love all of this. I even if it's going to mean some updates to the other show, I would love to see like the most updated animatronics going on in this ride. I mean, there's so much they could do to this ride, and I truly believe, Trevor, they are going to do the right thing here and not go. I believe that they love this ride and they understand that this ride is a symbol of Disney, you know, Walt Disney, but also Walt Disney World, and they're going to be careful about it. So I believe that. I think they will. So.
Yeah. So let's wait and see what comes of that. So I would like to.
Do we ad now, and then we're going to talk about the rest, or what do we?
So actually, before we do the ad, can we just? I want to touch on the Tron overlay.
Yes, I was going to ask you about this, Trevor.
Yeah. Okay. So Tron is getting its first overlay ever, which is exciting. So Tron Ares is the movie that's going to be coming out here, and they're doing a Tron Ares version of Light Cycle Run, which has music from Nine Inch Nails. So the fact that they went with 9 Inch Nails for this was a little surprising to me, but also I like the fact that the canopy is getting that bright red. Like that's.
Well, this is a funny overlay to me, Trevor, because like really all they have to do is like flip a switch and it's like, now it's red, you know, like,
yeah, but
which is fine. I guess, like, I don't care. Like it's cool, but
I have to wonder though, like, you know, obviously it sounds like they're going to do the music as well. So like Tron, like the music is part of Tron Light Cycle Run. So obviously you're going to get different music. I have to wonder if there might be like, there is opportunities for them to change like the queue and stuff because of how it's phrased or how the queue is framed. There is different like teams and stuff in there, and it's very easy to add in something from Ares into there, I feel. So but yeah, you know, just the fact that they're like, you know,
doing something
doing like I never expected Tron to get an overlay even when, you know, new movies come out, but the fact that they're trying to, you know, do that is, you know, it's not that it's always going to be amazing, but it's better than nothing.
No, listen, I actually have a more important question for you, Trevor.
Sure.
Is will the new Tron movie be the thing that gets you back to the movie theater?
You know, I've always liked Tron, and
I thought you were more than a Tron. I thought you were a huge Tron fan.
I mean, I always have been a Tron fan. Like I played the games and watched the movies and all that kind of stuff. It really depends on the timing, honestly. Like there's the best way I can explain it is, if the release of this movie doesn't come on a weekend where there's nothing else going on for me,
you can go. You don't have to go opening weekend. I mean,
you know, but it's this thing where it's like if it goes far enough where I get distracted by other things, I just forget, and then I'm like,
that's fair.
Like I'm just like, I don't have time for this. Like I don't, and it's not that I don't have time for this, but also like I'll look at it and go, well, I might, or, you know, if it's been out in theaters for a couple of weeks, it's like it'll be out on Disney Plus at some point. I'll watch it then, right?
Yeah,
like it's,
I get it,
and I know that's honestly not always the best way to look at this kind of stuff, but yeah, you know, Tron as an IP, I've always, you know me, I'm a big gamer, and it really resonates to me. That's
why I figured that would get you out to the theater, because I thought you were like, you know, you really like Tron a lot. So
yeah, I mean, I'll probably convince my wife to go and try and watch Tron, but like I said, it depends on it depends on the timing of it. Honestly, it depends on if we don't have, you know, if we have a couple of days where there's nothing going on, I'll try and find time to go to a movie theater. But and actually, you know, to be fair, you know, a lot of the reasons that we didn't do that was because of my son, and, you know, him, like, you know, we always had stuff
probably
going
go
on
with you to this though, right? You could probably
but it's also we're kind of hitting a point where, you know, he's in high school now, and he's kind of off doing his own thing, and and actually a good example is, you know, last night my wife and I actually sat down and watched a movie together because our son was out with his friends, and I've not sat down and watched movies in a while because, you know, we're always doing stuff as a family. But now he's kind of doing his own thing. So my wife and I are starting to find things to do together again. So
makes sense.
So I don't want to say I won't watch this in theaters, but I'm also not going to commit to it either because
that's fair.
I don't want to say, yeah, for sure I'll go. Like, I mean, I do like Tron. I will watch this. I just don't know in what format.
Okay. That's fair.
All right.
Why don't we do our ad, and then we got a couple other D23 things, and listen, there's not a ton of things from D23, but there are also other announcements that came out too, and some of these we will blow through, some of them we will not, but we will see.
Okay, this week our sponsor is DVC Rental Store. DVC Rental Store is a World of DVC company that offers magical vacations at incredible value. Save up to 60% off retail rates at premium Disney resorts. DVC Rental Store now includes deposits as low as 25% at the time of booking, and a built-in cancellation policy for every reservation. As always, DVC Rental Store pays out the most to members looking to rent their points. Want to learn more? Go to dvcrentalstore.com/welcome home or call 1-855-DVC-RENT. That's 382-7368. When you speak to them, be sure to let them know Welcome Home sent you.
All right. So this also, there's also a lot of villains talk going on over at D23, which, because we have the villains theme land that's happening, even though we really haven't heard much about it. But Disney seems to be in a villains kick lately, for one reason or another, more than usual. But one of the things they revealed here is, we were talking about the Disney Destiny, and there's going to be a lot of villains going on in the Destiny. But they did announce a meet and play character encounter with Dr. Facilier, which looks like he's doing like card tricks in this concept art, which I would be cool to do, but it seems like you can only do it for like 4 people at a time. But
that's still a really cool way to do.
I agree.
A character meet, because I assume you're going to have like a magician or somebody there doing this, doing magic tricks, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's far more interesting than just like a typical, like hi, wave, get a picture kind of thing, right? Like this.
Yeah, I agree. It's an interaction. Yeah, it's like it was almost like, remember the talking Mickey head where the talking Mickey used to say your name, and like it was that was like a different level of character meet and greet. Like it was a whole different kind of thing. This is the same kind of thing. It also mentions this charming illusionist may be lurking around the upper levels of the Grand Hall or in his own makeshift parlor, inviting guests for a card trick or sleight of hand. So yeah, they're gonna have a magician doing this, obviously.
Yeah. See, I love that.
I love it too. I do
love that because I've had all of the experiences that I've had at Disney that like really stuck with me was always like when either you're not expecting and like somebody walks up to you, like, I've talked about the story of, my brother getting involved with, a cow or a sheriff and a robber like in Frontierland.
Yeah.
But then also like, when you walk into somewhere and it's like you feel like you stumbled upon something that shouldn't be there. Like I like how they're describing this as like, it's his own, his makeshift parlor, right? Where it's like,
I like that. Yeah.
Like I feel like you're going to be walking into, like a small, like they're showing the concept art, a small room, and it feels very intimate and very like that it's just being done for you. Right.
Yeah,
like
exactly. Even
though I'm sure it's, there's going to be like people moving through and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's a very cool way to bring in a character interaction like that.
Agreed. They also have announced a new villains themed party, but not in the States. This is going to be at Hong Kong Disneyland on September 19th. It's called Uninvited, a Villains Takeover Party. It says it'll include elements of a cavalcade. What does that mean? Elements of a cavalcade. Okay. Elements of a cavalcade, a street show, and a musical when I just say a cavalcade, and a musical spectacle, showcasing various Disney villains, including Maleficent, the Mistress of Evil, because Maleficent has to be everywhere. But yeah, listen, I am surprised they're taking this long to do this kind of stuff. I think that this is going to be, honestly, once I'm going to make a prediction now. When the Villains Land opens at Disney World, I think they're going to have a separate party that's a villains theme party that is going to during the Halloween time that is going to be maybe a little scarier. I'm just gonna say, right now,
you'll have Mickey's not so scary, and you'll have the villains.
Maleficent's scary,
Yeah.
Not Universal level, Hollywood,
not Horror Nights.
I don't know why I just said Hollywood Halloween Horror Nights. But
it's funny. I always want to call it Hollywood Horror Nights as well. For some
I don't know why I just said that. I know it's Halloween Horror Nights. I don't know. It sounds better. But I think this is. It's not surprising, and they're Disney's doing what they do best, which is promoting something before it exists. Right, like they're building up this whole villain thing to get an anticipation going for what's going to be the villain's land, and that's going to be, I mean, as far as we know, that's the only villain's land is going to be at Disney World. You know, maybe they'll spread it to elsewhere at some point, but
yeah, maybe this is part of a plan that, you know, they may announce something for Hong Kong Disneyland.
Yeah. The last thing on here, Trevor, is about Napa Rose. I don't really feel like I need to talk about this, but if you want to talk about it, we can.
No, I'm good.
But they have new concept art for it. If you want to see it, go to Disney Parks Blog. You can see it.
Napa Rose is nice. It's just another sit down.
Yeah, I do also want to. And we can jump right over this because I don't think we need to talk about it long. Disney did announce a opening date for Zootopia Better Zoogether, which is November 7th. Is that the same date that the movie comes out? Because I think the movie comes out in November, does it not?
Sounds close. And yeah, that kind of tracks with let's see where it is. I can't find it quickly.
What, the release date?
Yeah.
No, it's November 26th. So they're going to do it a little bit before. I mean, listen, again, Disney's good at these things. They understand. They're going to cross promote. It's what they do. So they're going to start the ride before the movie comes out to pump up the movie even more, and then the movie would pump up the ride. It's cyclical. It goes around, right?
It's not even a ride; it's a show.
Sorry, show. Apologies.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a show, and
hopefully no more spiders coming down from the ceiling.
Oh boy, yeah. I hope not.
Yeah.
Unless it's spider monkeys. I mean, they could. Yeah. They could do spider monkeys, but yeah, it was funny. I was actually talking with my wife about this because she kind of forgot that this show or that this was coming.
Okay, that the Zootopia one was coming. Yeah.
Or no, she thought that like Better Zoogether. She was like, oh, they just announced like a Zootopia land opening. Like she was thinking like, like Hong Kong or something like that. No, that's the one Animal Kingdom. And I said, and I was like, it's not the land, it's just the show. And then she was like, where? And I'm like, you remember where Tough to Be a Bug is? And she's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, that show's gone now. Yeah.
It was just that like moment of like, oh yeah, I forgot about that show. But yeah, hopefully though, yeah, exactly to your point that this ends up being like, maybe it'll be a good precursor into the the movie itself. But it sounds like they've also been, or there's a new character in it that is not
probably going to be in the new movie, though, right?
Well, no, because the way that I was understanding this is that so this Heidi Howler, which is this
slick talking wolf,
yeah, I think they're specific to this show.
Oh, okay, well that's cool.
Or at least that's how I understood it. I'll have to go back and read the article again. But
I mean, I feel like knowing Disney, even if that character isn't like a main character in the new movie, that is going to show up somewhere like in the background, right?
Yeah, they'll probably be like a cameo or something. But then it sounds like they're going to be more like front and center to Better Zoogether. So
yeah, it seems like they're hosting the show almost, right? Like, yeah. Okay, yeah. I want to jump to this, Trevor, but I also feel like this news is stale dated at this point because Beacon Barrel is now open, right? So like we kind of missed this one.
Well, to be fair, we kind of talked about the menu at Beacon Barrel, and
but now we have actual pictures from inside it, and yeah. I am extraordinarily impressed with the theming in this bar. I think it looks incredible. I saw that the bird kind of waddles around and talks to
on the shelf. Yeah,
which is kind of great. I mean, we hope that was going to be the case. Yeah,
the sinking ships and the bottles and everything. Yeah, there's a lot of detail. It's I remember you saying you were hoping that this was going to kind of play out like some of the places you've been to on the cruise ships.
Yeah, it kind of seems like it. Yeah.
The one thing though that is kind of, it's just a little funny aside is. I remember in the concept art, there's this boat anchor chandelier.
Oh yeah, that in there.
Well, no, it's there, but I remember there was a particular concept art that made it look like there was like fire coming out of it. Well,
yeah.
There is some candles on it, but they're
not real. We know
they look very like muted, right? Like it does like it's more of a lighting effect, not like something impressive, I guess. But
I think this whole bar looks incredibly impressive, especially with how quickly I feel like they put this together. I think the theming is excellent. Like the skull behind the bar, like that anchor looks pretty cool to me too. I think it all looks awesome. I feel like they put a lot of time into this one and did a nice job with it.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, yeah, even though I'm kind of like, just lamenting on, concept art never fully.
No, it never turns out the same. No.
But yeah, overall it looks good. The hard part for me in one of these pictures is there's a bunch of paintings on the wall, and I spent way too much time in the various Harry Potter areas in Universal, and I keep going like, those look like they should be talking. But I'm assuming that they're not.
I mean, listen, and they might be. Like I said, I mentioned the Haunted Mansion bar on the boat. The paintings do a lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I haven't. I'm not gonna
it's
lie.
Funny how. Yeah. It's funny how like you kind of look at it now. It's like, oh, that's a nice painting. I wonder if it's going to talk. Like,
well, listen. When you're in the Haunted Mansion bar on the Treasure, spoiler alert for everyone. Like, you just walk in and you think they're real paintings, and then as things get more and more perilous as you sit there, right? And like, it is kind of weird, and you don't expect it, but it's extraordinarily cool. Like, but yeah, no, I get what you're saying. It's that, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I probably needed to be more up on this, but I've had a crazy week, and I have not had a chance to look at like actual videos of any of this stuff and like some of the things going around this. I need to do so because I do want to see. I want to see some video tours of what it looks like. I want to see the bird talking and all that stuff. I just unfortunately have not gotten to it yet. But
now let me ask you this, do you feel that this is somewhere that you would stop on your next trip in Magic Kingdom? Yes. Okay. Like you would tell your family, no, this is where we're eating for lunch.
No, I don't know about lunch. I would say to just go and hang out for a few and like have a fun drink and maybe a little app. I would do it for that. I'm not going to have lunch there for sure.
Oh, so you don't feel it's worth like a full sit down?
No, because it's more like snacky. It's like the menu was not that. I mean, it was smaller. It was not like lunch worthy, I think.
That's fair.
Yeah, no, but I definitely want to check it out. I mean, I still haven't gotten to the Star Wars one, and I've wanted to do that too. And listen, we've had other priorities over the past couple of years here with my daughter. But I do feel like this she would enjoy just because of how cool the pirate theme is. Like I think she'd be into it,
Yeah. I mean, I feel the weird thing about pirates is that, everyone could say, well, it's pirates are not for everybody, except that they are.
They are. Yeah.
Like
they're absolutely for everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it always felt like, that, or well, I guess where the line always was like the pirate versus princess thing. But it feels like the pirate stuff is far more like, just, anybody can show up and get excited about it. Like, my wife loves pirates, and it's like, that's fine. Like everybody should be enjoying it, I guess.
I totally agree. I think everybody can enjoy this, even though there is alcohol served, sure, but there's also not alcohol served. You can get mocktails, you can get, there's lots of stuff you can do that isn't alcoholic. So, you can think good.
I think the more that I'm looking at this, that I'm initially I was like in my head, I was like, oh, this would be like I would plan to like hit this up, for lunch, eat here, then go ride pirates kind of thing. But now that I'm thinking about it a little bit more, I'm seeing where you're coming from with the, drop in the afternoon and actually, hitting this up in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And, getting out of the sun for a bit, having a drink and just, some snacks.
Taking in the atmosphere. Yeah. That's how it was at the Haunted Mansion bar. They didn't have snacks there. You just kind of like went in, hung out and enjoyed the theming and the atmosphere. Like you didn't really need to
see what
do
happens.
Much else. Yeah. See all the things that happen. Absolutely.
So, we're going to stay in Magic Kingdom for a little while for anybody that's listening. Yeah. We got a couple of different things here in Magic Kingdom. The first one is the new ride vehicles for Buzz Lightyear, which, yes, we know that this is this might be a little bit older.
Yeah, it's a little older, but we didn't get to talk about it.
Yeah. What do you think about these updated cars?
I'm excited for a lot of reasons here. First of all, they kept the same style, We kind of talked about this. Like, I was worried we were going to lose in the overhaul. The very, I mean, I didn't think we would, but like just looking at like the look of these. First of all, the structure is essentially the same. These look just like the ones that they've done overseas with other. I mean, it's probably the exact same thing, right? But I love the fact that there's just like decals on it that look like decals that would be on the Buzz Lightyear toy. You know what I mean? Like,
like the headlights on.
Yeah, the headlight. Yeah,
like it looks like it should have headlights, but they're just like stickers.
Yeah, even the logo on the front, right? It's like it looks like a decal that you would put on a toy, right? But and then we have obviously, and first of all, we've needed new ride vehicles. We talked about this before. Those ride vehicles were original to the original ride. Well, the second. Yeah. They were old. They were like 40, 50 years old, right? These are brand new.
Yeah, it says in the article that they were originally from 1972.
Yeah.
From Delta Dream Flight.
Which is nuts if you really want to talk.
I didn't realize how old those were, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't see this in, it's funny, I used this article, Trevor, but I didn't see this in this article, but I did see it in other articles. The screen is updated. Mm-hmm. So you can, it's a digital screen. It's not like the old clock version.
Yeah, like a clock face. Yeah.
Yeah. The old digital clock version. It's like an actual, like, real screen. It's, you can see it in some of these different ones here, but, it's much different. And it looks like they're going to keep the spinning part, right? So the spinning's not going away.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good news too. Because I know some people were worried about that, but again, these ride vehicles are essentially the exact same ones that they have at other parks already. So, which I'm fine with. I don't care. Reuse it. It doesn't need to be anything special for Magic Kingdom. We just needed something that wasn't what was there.
And the guns. Like you're not like these guns are again. I've seen the other ones that they used in like Disneyland. These are going to be so much better.
And they're auto fire too. There's no, like you're not going to come off of this with a sore.
Oh no, you probably still will because people will just naturally want to like do that. Yeah, pulling the trigger.
Yeah,
but also even holding down a trigger for an extended period gets tiring. But the guns themselves are they're smaller and it's not taking up the entire front of the ride. I
believe these are trigger free, by the way, Trevor. I believe that you don't have to do anything. They literally just auto fires. Yeah.
They just shoot. Oh, okay.
Which I actually kind of like too, because it actually levels the playing fields, right? It's not about how quickly you can move your finger. It's about your aim and your strategy, right? It makes it so that the daughter is on the same level
fire. As yeah. Somebody doing rapid fire can't, go crazy with it. Yeah.
Yeah, so the original ones were from 1972. So if I do the math really quickly on that, that's 53 years old that these ride vehicles were. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I have no nostalgia for the 50 some year old.
For these particular Omnimover ones, there are other other ones that are older.
Yeah, there are others, but yeah, get rid of them. Let's get new ones. I'm excited. Let's do it.
Yeah, and color palette wise, I feel it's closer to. Or the old Buzz Lightyear stuff was very it was emulating the cartoon is the thing, and it was a lot of I felt like there was a lot of like overbearing neon in it, whereas the new one is like there's still the green and the red and everything, but it's not like hitting you in the face.
Exactly. Let's move on to Big Thunder.
Yeah. Okay. This one is, I actually really wanted to talk about this because I am super excited.
I am too.
I know we've been saying about, getting I'm assuming that this is going to get the same love that the one in Disneyland got, which, got the updated, finale, but there's a lot more to this too. Like they've shown like the opening cave looks like it's going to get some redos.
Yeah, so we have concept art of the opening cave. I also absolutely love the portrait they have here of Barnabas T. Bullion,
which is Tony
Baxter. Yeah, very clearly Tony Baxter. Which, if you don't know who Tony Baxter is a legendary Imagineer, and he's the one who designed Big Thunder. I just like that they made a dastardly Tony Baxter with the mustache.
It's fantastic, and
it's
should absolutely be there.
Like if Tony Baxter didn't get this like painted out for him and put on his wall, it's like he has to, right?
Totally.
He is retired now, unfortunately, but listen, he's the driving force between a lot of your favorite rides at Disney is Tony Baxter.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Barnabas T. Bullion, and which I like them. One of the things I love about Big Thunder is the backstory of it, and the fact that they are even doing a little more with it too. I really like. I just love that they're filling in the backstory even more, because like you could pick up the backstory from like for the queue and everything, but like they don't outline it overtly, right?
Yeah.
But now, I mean, they're adding to this, and I really hope this portrait is somewhere in the queue. Like, has to be.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, there was so many, like, if the hard part is that if you look at the queue, there is a ton of like, it does tell a story, but
it does.
Walking through the queue, unless you've got time to really like stop and look at all these things, you're not catching it. But having a picture of Barnabas there is like, I feel like it's going to kind of bring people, it kind of brings in more of the, not, oh, this is just a train ride. Like it gives them a chance to kind of build into like if you read the story and everything,
the lore,
like,
yeah,
they're saying like, oh, this was a natural wonder or whatever, but there's something going on behind
something strange
the scenes, right? Yeah, like even from the article here, they say, rainbow caverns are certainly beautiful, but they ain't as friendly as they first appear. In fact, that menacing rumble deep from within the mountain may be a sign that we ain't welcome. Like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I fully expect, Trevor, that it says one such moment comes with trains rattle their way underground to a spectacular natural cavern full of phosphorescent pools, shimmering and illuminating iridescent stalagmites and stalactites. And it makes it seem like they're going to make it rumble, like actually shake in there. Which is kind of cool.
Or the car will do some kind of...
Or the train will do some sort of... I don't know what they're doing, but there's some sort of shaking is going to happen that make you like, give you a foreboding kind of thing.
I like that they called out stalagmites and stalactites.
That they were specific about that.
The ones on the floor and the ones on the ceiling. Do you know how to tell the difference or the easy way to tell if you're talking about a stalagmite or stalactite?
I don't know. This is going to be a Trevor fun fact here.
This is a Trevor fun fact because I love this. This is actually how I keep them straight. Is that stalagmites have G in them, which is for ground. Stalactites have C in them, which is for ceiling.
That makes total sense.
Yeah,
that's a great little handy thing. I'm going to forget it. Yeah. But
if you ever see a stalagmite, you'll be able to go, oh, that's a stalagmite.
It's like how I remember how to spell dessert versus desert. There's an extra S because I want extra helpings of it.
Exactly.
That actually, I'll go back to that after we're done with the topic. Hold on. Just I forgot one thing about my night last night. So this is cool. I will say this is just a peek. And one of the blogs noticed, I'm not going to say which one because I don't want to, but one of the blogs noticed that they had originally updated the attraction page to include details about the end scene that sounded very similar to the one at Disneyland. And then they very quickly removed it. Now, I don't think that means it's not happening. I think it could mean that it got announced before they wanted to, that maybe somebody updated that before they should have. And that, there's more announcements to come here because again, they even say there's more magic for guests. Yeah. There's more new magic for guests. Maybe we'll finally get an on-ride photo for this. I mean, I don't know why it's taking them so long. I mean, they should do an on-ride photo, but
it shouldn't be a photo.
Yeah.
It should be like, we should get like some Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Treatment.
And the video. Yeah. Do the video, do the whole thing.
Exactly.
But I do hope that the last room is like it is at Disneyland because I hope they iterate on it and make it even better than that, like with the newest technology, because listen, they are doing a full refurbishment of this. This is top to bottom. They put in brand new track, so it's literally brand new. It's like a brand new ride. That they start from scratch. Like this is a whole huge refurbishment here.
I wonder if it's still going to have the trick track.
I bet it will. I assume it will. You know what I mean? When you rock back and forth is what you're saying? Yeah.
The weird wobbly track.
Yeah, it has to, right? There's no way they got rid of that. That's a key part of the ride. But yeah, I'm interested to see what else this is going to be. I would be sad if they didn't do anything with the last scene, especially since there's been so much hype around them doing it. And like I said, I don't think them updating and then removing that from the description means really anything other than they didn't want to put it on there at this point. I do think it could still happen. And they are saying there's going to be more new magic. It's not just this, right? So we're going to have more.
Yeah, there is actually so many opportunities for, like, if you really think about it, Big Thunder, like both versions of Big Thunder have unique things going on, but there is a lot of animatronic and moving part pieces that you don't really think about. Like they feel very like almost naturally occurring within the ride.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. I feel like Disney is kind of holding back and going, we're doing all these other things. And, they do want it to be, I feel like they want it to be a bit of a surprise because.
Yeah, they want to do phased announcements.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what they like to do.
And there's nothing saying that they have to, the fact that everyone's, kind of waiting for the finale scene in it.
Yeah.
I think is exactly why they shouldn't, show their hand on it, because we should,
Agreed.
We should see it when it happens.
100% agreed. 100% agreed. So I got nothing else on Big Thunder. I would love to move to the next thing, but do you have anything else on Big Thunder?
No, I'm good. And until we see more about it, I am good.
Yeah. Let's talk about this next thing, Trevor, because
all right.
I think this is extraordinarily exciting too. I feel like I've said extraordinarily a lot this episode. I don't mean to, but there's a lot of extraordinary things going on.
There's a lot of very cool things coming that we're still a ways out, but this is so. Have you ridden Rock and Roller Coaster?
No.
Will you ride Rock and Roller Coaster if it's Muppets?
No.
No,
we'll see, maybe.
Okay.
But
okay.
We've got an update on the overlay, which is great because we have not seen really anything other than the original poster, and now we've got some actual honest to God concept art. And the first piece I want to talk about is the giant guitar outside the outside the attraction, because I love what they're doing with this. Love it.
Yeah, it's super like I forgot how boring. The coaster, or
you think a giant guitar cannot be boring, but yes,
it looks great. Like,
I mean, so they're making it like super psychedelic and like very very really fitting in with the Electric Mayhem,
Yeah.
Although it's funny that they're doing Rock and Roller Coaster starring the Muppets, not starring the Electric Mayhem, right? But it is starring all of a bunch of the Muppets, right?
I feel like they have to say the Muppets because so Electric Mayhem is definitely in there, but as you see in the concept art, the penguins are in there. It looks like
the penguins are there.
They're gonna have Kermit and Miss Piggy and all that. Like it wouldn't be fair if they said it was just starring Electric Mayhem. I feel like. They're not giving the rest of the Muppets credit for it, right?
But I love the fact, Trevor, that we are now going to have animatronics in this ride, right? You're getting the penguins, like you said. You're getting Scooter. Now it seems clear to me the Electric Mayhem and Kermit and Miss Piggy are screens, which fine. Yeah. But at least we're getting the penguins, because I love the penguins. I don't know about you. I've always enjoyed the penguins and like the fact they're always just doing the menial jobs for the Muppets. But and then Scooter makes sense too, because Scooter's always doing all that stuff. So but yeah, no, I think this looks awesome.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's funny because all it's really shown us is just the queue, right? Because this is the queue in the pre-show that is the biggest part of it, but. I'm now I'm trying to think of how the rest of the ride is going to change, because
it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Because I guess it is feasible that we'll still end up in the back alley behind the studio, because that's how it played out in the original.
Well, and that's kind of what it says here. The Electric Mayhem are headlining their biggest Hollywood concert ever. Anyone who's anyone is in attendance to witness. Animal, Dr. Teeth, and the rest of the Groove-tastic group rock the house down. There's just one problem: the band is nowhere to be found. So there you go. Yeah. But yeah, so I like I said, I just think this looks cool.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, I don't have any notes on it at this point, besides, I want to see how these animatronics are going to play in, because it like the opening or the pre-show scene. I'm thinking about like how it was done, like where the penguins are sitting. I feel like you could, or I thought you could see like, or maybe I don't think you could actually see the floor there.
Oh, really?
Like it's a weird. It's kind of weird how they did it, like because there's like glass, and then there's like the booth where the penguins would be, and then there's where the where Aerosmith was, or where Electric Mayhem's going to be. But I'm trying to remember if you actually could like properly see the room, or if it was just like a facade and there was like nothing there, right? Like
a video, because it's been a while, right?
Yeah. I guess I could go back and rewatch a video of it, but
they do mention here, Trevor, by the way, it says the iconic scenery and landmarks of Tinseltown will feature a Muppet twist for the inside part.
Okay, so because they're
just going to retheme it to be
it's because it's very like Hollywood themed in there, but I guess they don't have to completely redo it, but I'm assuming there'll be like little Muppet nods on all the signs and whatnot. I was trying to find it here. So there is actually a this coaster that's used in Rock and Roller Coaster it exists
elsewhere.
There's another or it's somewhere else, but
version.
It's outdoor, so you could actually see how the coaster works. Which I know you don't do crazy fast,
I know.
but it's
I've seen it before.
It's a good coaster, like but I guess to be fair, like you like my wife could always do the she's done this before with us, where she's waited in line, we've gone through all the pre-shows, and then she gets to the front and she opts out and we get on the ride.
I could
right? So you could do that, and I assume Karen will want to ride it.
1,000%. The ride's called Express, and it's at Holland. It's in the Netherlands.
Mm-hmm.
So you can actually see it. It's the same ride, except
it's actually it's the initial launch that's the worst part. The rest of it is not all that bad.
There's a lot of inversions of this, but I know shit.
Well, actually,
to start off, at
it's
least.
Only the two.
It's to start off,
because it does like a half loop, a corkscrew, and then another half loop. So that makes for two inversions, which could be a lot, but
you're right. The rest is just kind of like going around. But listen, we'll have to see what the inside of this is going to look like. It seems like they're just going to kind of there's a corkscrew in there too in the middle. But anyway, I'm just watching a video of it right now as we're talking. What was I going to say? Listen, I think the part of why people love Muppet Vision 3D is that the queue in the pre-show, besides the show itself, were filled with so many funny references and so much humor that went along with the Muppets. If they can replicate that same thing in Rock and Roller Coaster, I think it's going to be a really popular choice. I also think that this thing is going to be a merch bonanza.
Easily.
This is going to kill in merch.
and it's funny because every time that I've gone on Rock and Roller Coaster, I get off of it and they put you right into the the gift shop, and that's one of the few gift shops that I walk straight out of.
Just why you don't even look at anything.
Because they're
why would you?
It's nothing that I'm, because it was a lot of like Aerosmith and like Rock and Roller Coaster merch, but it was always like starring Aerosmith, and it was like you could get like I think they had like a laser printing machine there where you could get like key tags done and stuff like that, and I was like no, but exactly that is if I get off this ride and it's like, oh, there's Muppet like all the Muppet merch from from Courtyard,
but also themed to like rock and roll and like psychedelic, and dude, it's gonna
like there's so many opportunities for them to do fun stuff with this, and like you said, the stuff through the queue, all that kind of stuff is just I like this. To me is far more appealing than I liked Rocking Roller Coaster because it was a fun roller coaster, but the actual theming of it, they were showing off music and all that, which rightfully so. There's lots of people that appreciate that. For me, it was I was not at Disney to go and look at Aerosmith merch. Right? So it was like, like this is exactly like, hitting that, there's all this Muppet stuff there and a great roller coaster. Really, as much as people are missing the show, I feel this is a good trade-off.
Yeah.
Like it's revitalizing an existing ride that needed it
badly.
And it's just like you said, I feel it's going to open itself up to, lots of fun stuff for them to do with it.
Yeah, I don't know if I called this out back in when the announcement for the Monsters Inc. Coaster was made, but didn't I say like 5 years ago that they should turn Rock and Roller Coaster into a door coaster, and now they're just doing the door coaster standalone?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure I got that from somewhere, but I swear to you, I said many times that they need to turn that into a door coaster.
Yeah, that's been, it was one of those things that, it was like, that whole scene would have made for a cool roller coaster.
Yeah, it's like, easy. I'm not saying I'm a genius for coming up with it. I feel like it was the easy thing to do, but now they're doing it. So
yeah,
great. Yeah. So listen, I mean, I just imagine, the meme of the guy rubbing his hands together, like licking his lips behind, poking out from behind the tree. I just imagine someone in Disney merchandising is doing this with this new Muppets ride. Like, just they're gonna make so much cool stuff. You're gonna see that all over the place.
I can't wait to see like when it opens. Like I'll be curious to see how busy it is, because I feel like Rock and Roller Coaster kind of fell off a bit, or it wasn't doing well. But then, exactly, like what kind of merch are we going to see coming out of there?
You can even see some in the concept art they put out, by the way. There's like a jean cut off, like jacket, like vest kind of thing that has the Electric Mayhem on the back. There's people wearing like glow sticks all over the place.
Oh, the people in the taking the pictures. Oh yeah.
If you look at it, you can see. I mean, I don't know if that's what the merch is going to be. There's just probably somebody just making some examples of what it could be. But I mean, you could see any of those happening. You see the mouth that's up there. You're like, I mean, there's lots of stuff they could do here. I mean, this is going to be cool. It's going to be really cool.
I actually totally blanked on the neon or the glow in the dark armbands and stuff. I wonder if that I haven't thought about those in a minute.
Think about, I mean, Disney loves their glow up stuff, man. If you're going to make something psychedelic and crazy colored here, of course they're going to sell that stuff around Rock and Roller Coaster.
But those glow in the dark things from the bracelets and stuff from when you were a kid, they're just going to have those around.
Dude, they're around my house all the time because my daughter gets them in birthday party gift, bags.
We used to get them too.
No, I mean, why wouldn't they sell some light up stuff or it doesn't even need to be the little ones that you break the thing inside. It could,
an LED light up one would be really cool.
I could see that happening more, right? And just this kind of psychedelic thing. I mean, it does seem like whoever did this concept art has an idea for the mayhem thing, because there's also that same logo is in on somebody's shirt in the queue as well.
Yeah, so, I see that. Yeah. It's a little obscured, but there's definitely going to be mayhem merch.
Oh yeah. This is gonna, like I said, I think it's gonna be huge for merch. And so the last thing here, and remind me to mention the other thing I'll just do it now. I wanted to, so going back to my Descendants night really quickly before we talk about Tokyo DisneySea and wrap things up. So we were, like I mentioned, Trevor, we were traveling, right? We were traveling like an hour and a half away. And so I said to my wife, why don't we grab dinner ahead of time? Right. Cause let's go grab some dinner. And so I started looking for restaurants around this place because, I used to work in this area a lot, but I haven't in a long time and I don't know what's around. And I found a restaurant called Pastabilities, which is a customized pasta place. And I was like, I must go to this place just based on the name alone. I appreciate the
possibilities.
I mean, how could you say no to Pastabilities? There's so many possibilities that you can, have. I mean, it's literally you customize your own pasta, Trevor. You pick out the pasta type and the sauce and all that. And I was like, we must go here. So shout out to Possibilities, because we went there just based on the name, but they were fantastic. They were such a good dinner, man. It was great. Cool little family run place. So if you're ever in Greensboro, North Carolina, go to Possibilities because they were awesome. fantastic service, great ambiance. I loved it. We had a great time there. So anyway, I figured you would enjoy the name possibilities as much as I did. So.
It actually makes me think I want to go get some pasta for dinner.
Right?
Maybe I'll do that.
Dude, as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh man, that sounds great.
But before we get to dinner, why don't we
let's talk about Tokyo DisneySea, right?
The Tokyo DisneySea. So we just finished. You're talking about things you want to eat, but I'm sure that the one of the first pictures on here is this shrimp-filled ukiwa bun.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is for their 25th anniversary, right? Their 25th anniversary, the Sparkling Jubilee. That's what they're saying here.
Yes.
So they have.
I like the aesthetic of it. By the way, the 20, like the color. It's like that.
Oh yeah, it's a
turquoise, diamondy kind of thing, but it's not. It's not the dark purple that they did for Disneyland.
No, it's got some of that though. The iridescent kind of thing going on there.
Yeah, but like I said, it's more like that, like turquoise green and whatnot. Yeah. Which is really nice. But then like I said, they immediately leaned in with these shrimp buns, which I'm assuming are.
We should mention this starts April 15, 2026. So you still have quite a while before this starts.
Yeah, if you're planning a trip to Tokyo Disney.
Yes, it's going to feature new entertainment, colorful park decor, food, beverage items, and of course, merchandise. So, but like you said, there is this disgusting looking
to be fair, if you just saw the bun itself, which looks like a life preserver, because they got the picture of Donald jumping sticking out of it. If you didn't know that it was shrimp filled, like take away the one picture of the open one there.
If it's just a bun, I would eat it. I mean, it looks good. And then you open it up and it looks like there's, some sort of, I don't know what in there.
It looks just like crab meat or shrimp or anything.
Yeah, well, it's shrimp filled. Yeah. I'm good.
Okay. Well, I'll have one.
But, okay, you do that.
Moving on.
You have that. But listen, there's not a lot else here. But they are just announcing the celebrations happening. They're showing some pictures of like what the outfits are going to look like and all that fun stuff. The color, there's a name for the color, Trevor. It's Jubilee Blue.
Jubilee Blue. All right.
Yeah, so the color is Sparkling Jubilee. So
I like that one of like in bold it says big question, will Duffy and friends be there? Yes,
of course. Please. Is that really a question? Please. They're gonna do like a Sparkling Jubilee celebration. So Mickey Mouse and friends are gonna sail into the harbor on a specially decorated barge. So that's cool. I guess there's gonna be a limited time show called Dance the Globe. Mickey and Gunn,
Dance the Globe has a bunch of different characters and what on here. In the bottom right hand corner, that looks like Hero from Big Hero 6.
That is Hero. That is definitely Hero. Yeah.
So that's interesting. You don't see a lot of over here you don't see as much Big Hero 6 stuff, but obviously they do like it.
Who's doing the flipping over here? Like, are those just people? Because I mean, there are just some generic people in here, aren't there?
Yeah, it looks like there's like some acrobatics and stuff, but then they specifically call out a couple the three Caballeros are in there, and Mirabelle from Encanto,
Chippendale, of course, and and Rafiki for some reason, unclear why. Rafiki's just there. Cool.
Rafiki's a vibe.
I like Rafiki.
He just shows up and he's just like cool.
It's just a weird group of people on this concept. You got Mickey in the middle. You've got Donald. You've got Goofy. You got Minnie. Great. You got Chip and Dale there, and then randomly Rafiki. Like, I don't know. Anyway. So you got the Dance the Globe thing, which is going to have Mickey and his friends, Rapunzel, Hero. Okay, so there you go. It actually does list Hero and Mirabelle. So you got that, and then there's going to be the facade of the Tokyo DisneySea Hotel Miracosta is going to have some projection mapping going on, accompanied by the theme song of the anniversary. So it's also getting its own theme song too, Trevor.
Oh,
yeah. All right. Its own theme song. There's going to be some special decor. They're going to put stuff up all over the place. It's going to be some new food and beverage items. Who knows? Maybe once we get closer, Trevor, we'll do a food time.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll have to look into it, and of course, be upset because they'll do something cool with this.
Oh yeah,
that we'll never see because
of course.
There's lots of fun stuff that happens in the Asia parks.
Disney doesn't have to pay for it.
Yeah. Yes, I know, but come on, like
that's why they do these things.
You can bring a couple of things over for us to see.
Listen, we can't complain that much when there's.
We
just talked about a ton of things going.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I shouldn't be like that because we just we had a whole bunch of stuff announced and we're getting a whole bunch of stuff. And I think it's a matter of the grass is greener on the other side. Of course. Sometimes. Of course. Well, I guess maybe the grass is more Jubilee blue on the other side.
There you go. That's a good one. That's good. I like that. The grass is filled with shrimp-filled stuff.
Shrimp-filled Jubilee blue.
Yeah, shrimp-filled Jubilee blue items. All right. So this is the point of the show where we've gotten punchy because we've talked for too long. So
yeah, this has been a long episode, but again, it was a little overdue. And so I guess let's get to the wrap up. So, we'll start with again, mentioning that you can always find us at welcomehomepodcast@gmail.com. We love hearing from you guys and hearing what you think about the show and, sharing your trip reports and all that kind of stuff. You can also find us on social media. So we are on Facebook as Welcome Home Podcast, YouTube as Welcome Home Podcast, and Instagram as Welcome Home Pics. On Facebook, make sure you check out our group Welcome Home Disney Waitlist, where we have all kinds of conversations about stuff from the show and just general Disney stuff. And all the, if you're wanting a good, Disney group, that's the one I say, where the Disney group you should come hang out in. And if you would like to help support the show, you can go to our Patreon, which is patreon.com/welcomehomepod. You can check out our different levels of Patreon support there. Which you can get different merch from that, and all of our Patreon supporters get access to the Discord server, which is yet another place that we talk about all the stuff that we talk about on the show. It's again, just another place to connect with other people, sharing things. I'll actually just shout out again to Chris, who came on for our waitlist last week. He's in the Discord server with us and put it to us that he wanted to talk about Adventures by Disney. So happy you did, Chris. It was it was great to hear about your experience on there. So, and I should also say we're going to try and do more of that kind of stuff in the future as well. So we know some of you have trip reports or interesting things that you've done that you want to share, and we're going to work to get that stuff out. Just be patient. We're kind of we're in the middle of doing some housekeeping stuff at the moment. Well, so
we didn't talk about this in the beginning of the show, and we probably should, Trevor. But
yes,
there's changes going to be coming to the show, right? There are things that Trevor and I have wanted to do for a long time that we haven't done, and for various reasons. But now we are going to start, doing some different things on the show than we've done before. This might include things like more video. This could be, we may at some point kind of reboot the podcast with a new name, and, we might get another host. I don't know.
These are all conversations. None of this is final.
Yeah. So, I'm just saying, just know that this is a jumping off point for Trevor and I. It's almost like we're starting the podcast over again. And so a lot of the things over the years that we've talked about and wanted to do that we haven't necessarily done, maybe we might do it now. And that's exciting for us because there's a lot of new kind of ideas and thoughts coming through here, and we're going to start doing these things. So keep an eye out for that.
And last but not least, as we're wrapping it up here, for anything we have talked about on the show, or if you want to help support the show, as usual, you can always leave us a 5-star review on any platform that you're listening on. That does help more people get to the show. If it's something that you like and you want to share, put it out there. Giving the 5 stars helps the algorithm. Also put it out there. If you've got, if there's people that you think might enjoy the show, just point them our way, because we would like to get this to we do this because we enjoy it, but also we want to share it with people, and if people want to listen to it, please keep sharing it. Don't ever stop. And also, on iTunes, if you want to leave us a review on there, you can always do so, because we love hearing what you guys think about the show.
I should also mention we don't have a website at the moment. We will be creating a new website. So if you're someone that uses if you're someone that used the website regularly, apologies, but we will have a website back again sometime soon here.
Yes.
But yeah, just bear with us on that one. So, but on top of the reviews and all that fun stuff, don't forget to subscribe to Welcome Home Podcast so you can be reminded every time we release a new episode. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, YouTube Music, just about any podcast app that's out there. You can find our show. And a huge thank you, by the way, to our sponsors, DVC Rental Store, for sponsoring this episode. We plan to have them on more too. DVC Resale Market and Rental Store, and now their new ventures selling tickets and all that stuff. They are an integral part of our show, and they will be joining us more and more and doing more fun things with us. So join us next time for more Disney Parks discussion. Of course, more DVC talk. We hope to see you all real soon.
This is Skipper Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, signing off from Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
To a house when we had a child, how she can cuddle is no man's affair. I look around for all the holes, found her in her sugar bowl. Hey, look out, here comes my